The planet was silent, not the peaceful kind of silence, but the kind that comes after everything living has been erased. Broken towers stood like graves, burned ground stretched to the horizon. The sky was dark with drifting ash. She lay among the ruins. Her body was weak, her breath was shallow. She should have died hours ago. Maybe days. Her people were gone, her city destroyed, her name no longer mattered. She remembered screams, bright fire from the sky ships that did not stop, weapons that did not care. She was not a soldier. She was not a leader. She was left behind. Her leg was injured, dark blood stained the ground beneath her. Every movement sent pain through her body. She pressed her hand against the wound, trying to stop the bleeding. Trying to stay alive. She did not want to die here, alone, forgotten. Her species believed in honor and family, in standing together, but none of that mattered now. The galaxy had moved on and she was just another loss. She dragged herself toward the shadow of a fallen wall. The air was cold. Each breath burned her chest. Her vision faded. The world blurred. She whispered a prayer to no one. There was no one left to hear it. That was when the ground trembled. At first she thought it was her heart failing, but then the sound grew louder, a deep, steady vibration, metal against air. She forced her eyes open. Light cut through the ash clouds. A shape descended from the sky. A ship. Not one she recognized. Not one from the enemy, either fear-filled. Her chest. If they found her, she would be taken, used, or finished. She pulled herself deeper into the shadows, her body shaking, her claws digging into broken stone. The ship landed not far from her. Dust and ash exploded outward. The hatch opened. Figures stepped out, tall, heavy armored, different humans. Her breath stopped. She had heard the stories everyone had. Humans were unpredictable, too emotional, too violent. Some said they were kind. Others said they were worse than monsters. She had never believed the good stories. No one survives the galaxy by being kind. The humans moved carefully, scanning the ruins, weapons ready. They spoke to each other, their voices low, controlled. She did not understand their words, but their tone was not cruel. Still, she did not trust them. She tried to move again, but her strength failed. A small sound escaped her, barely more than a breath. One of the humans froze. He raised his hand, signaling the others to stop. Silence returned. Slow, careful steps moved closer. She pressed herself against the wall, her heart pounding. If this was the end, she would face it awake. The human knelt near the broken wall. He did not aim his weapon. He looked at the ground, at the blood trail. Then his eyes lifted. They met hers. She expected hatred or fear. Instead, she saw shock and something else, concern. He spoke softly, not to command, not to threaten. His voice was calm, almost gentle. She did not understand the words, but she understood the tone. She tried to crawl away, but her body refused. The human raised both hands, slow open. He stopped several steps away. He did not touch her. He did not shout. He simply stayed there. The other humans waited behind him. No one rushed forward. No one treated her like prey. The human removed his helmet. His face was exposed, vulnerable. Her mind struggled to understand. No enemy would do this. He spoke again, still soft, still steady. She felt tears burn her eyes. She did not remember the last time someone spoke to her like that. Her strength finally gave out. She collapsed. Darkness closed in. The last thing she heard, before everything faded, was the human voice, low, certain. You are not alone anymore. She woke in pain, not sharp but deep and heavy. The kind that reminded her she was still alive. Warm light filled the space around her. It was not the cold light of captivity, not the harsh glare of interrogation. This light was soft. She tried to move. Her body refused. A quiet sound escaped her throat. Immediately a shape shifted beside her. The human was there, sitting, not standing, over her. His helmet rested on the floor. His weapon was nowhere in sight. For a moment panic flooded her chest. Humans never stayed. They took what they wanted and moved on. That was what she had been taught. Her people had shared warnings for generations. Humans feel too much. Humans react too fast. Humans destroy when they care. She tried to pull away, but restraints held her gently in place, not chains, not metal cuffs, soft support bands, medical, not prison. Her eyes moved around the room, smooth walls, quiet machines, a steady rhythmic sound, life support. She was on a human ship. Her heart raced. If they wanted information, if they wanted to experiment, this was the moment. The human noticed her fear. He did not move closer. Instead, he leaned back slightly, giving her space. He spoke slowly. His voice was low, careful, as if each word mattered. A small device rested near his collar. It activated, sound shifted, changed. Then words reached her mind, clear. Translated, "You are safe." The words hit harder than any weapon. Safe was not a word she trusted. Safe was a lie told before betrayal. She turned her face away. The human waited. Seconds passed, then minutes. He did not demand her attention. He did not grow impatient. Finally she spoke. Her voice was weak, rough. "Why one word?" All she had strength for. The human considered it. "Because leaving you would be wrong." The answer made no sense. The galaxy did not work on right and wrong. It worked on power. On survival. She laughed softly, a broken sound. "Humans are liars." The human did not react with anger. He nodded. "Sometimes we are." Her eyes returned to him. That honesty confused her more than any lie. She searched his face for deception. She found exhaustion. Lines of stress, eyes that had seen loss. Not a monster. "Why help me?" she asked again. He leaned forward slightly, resting his arms on his knees. "Because you were bleeding, and alone." That was it. No grand reason, no strategic value, just that. Her chest tightened. Her entire life value was measured by usefulness. She had none left. Yet here she was alive. A soft hiss came from the door. Another human entered. This one glanced at her, then at the man beside her. "We should leave soon." The voice was firm. Not unkind. Hostiles could return. The human by her side did not look away from her. "Give me a moment." The other human hesitated, then nodded and left. She noticed the choice. He chose to stay. Her thoughts raced. If she trusted them, she could survive. If she trusted them, she could die. Trust was dangerous. She closed her eyes. "What will you do with me?" The question carried more fear than anger. The human answered without hesitation, "We will take you somewhere safe." And then he paused. "You decide what comes next." Her eyes opened. Choice. She had not been given a choice in a long time. "What if I leave? Then we will let you go. What if I stay? Then you stay." Simple. Too simple. She studied him again. "Why are you different?" The question slipped out. He smiled. Slightly, not proudly, not arrogantly. "We are not different. We just remember what it feels like to be abandoned." The ship vibrated gently, preparing for departure. Her body trembled. Fear, hope, confusion, all mixed together. The human stood slowly. He did not reach for her before he turned away. He spoke once more. "Rest, we will talk again." She watched him leave. The door closed softly. She stared at the ceiling. Her mind replayed his words. "Because leaving you would be wrong," for the first time since. Her world burned. She wondered what kind of species fought the galaxy, not for power, but for those left behind. Sleep took her slowly, not the heavy darkness of pain, but something softer. When her eyes opened again, time felt different. The room was quiet, filled with the steady sound of machines, each one keeping her alive. She lifted her hand slightly. The pain was still there, but distant, controlled. Someone had cared enough to reduce it. That realization frightened her more than the pain ever had. Kindness always asked for a price. She turned her head. The human was there again, sitting in the same place. As if he had never left, he was reading from a small screen, data she could not understand. When he noticed her movement, he looked up immediately. "You are awake." His voice was calm, relieved. She said nothing. Words felt dangerous. He stood slowly, then stopped. "May I come closer?" The question caught her off guard. No one had asked her that before. She nodded once. He stepped closer, but not too close. He respected the space between them. "Your injuries were serious," he continued, "but you will heal. You should not be alive." The truth escaped her lips. He nodded again. "You are right." The answer surprised her. "But you are." She studied his face, trying to understand the species behind it. "Why stay with me?" she asked. He thought for a moment. "Because you matter." The words were simple, but they struck deep. Matter was a concept she had lost. Her people were classified, counted, then erased. She closed her eyes. "If your enemies come back, you will leave me." It was not an accusation, just fear. The human did not answer. Immediately, he reached up slowly, touched a small metal chain around his neck. No, the word was quiet, but solid. "I will not." She opened her eyes. "How can you promise that?" He met her gaze. "Because a promise means something to us." Her chest tightened. Promises had destroyed her world. Treaties broken, alliances abandoned. Words were easy to say. She turned her face away. "I do not believe you." "That is fair," he replied. "Belief is earned." Silence filled the room again. The ship hummed around them, moving through the stars. After a moment, she felt something warm against her fingers. She looked down. His hand rested near hers, not holding, not forcing, just there. "If you want me to move," he said quietly, "I will." Her fingers trembled. She did not pull away. Time passed. Slow and careful. Then she closed her hand, not fully, just enough. The human froze. He did not move, did not tighten his grip. He waited. She felt his warmth. Steady, real, no pain, no threat. Her breath shook. "Do not let go." The words escaped before she could stop them. He answered instantly, "I will not." Her eyes filled with tears. She had been strong for so long, strong while everything fell apart. Now she was tired, so tired. "Rest." He said softly, "I am here." Sleep came again, gentle, safe. When she woke later, the lights were dim. The human was still there, his hand still beneath hers. He had not moved. "Why?" she whispered. He looked down at her. "Because you asked me not to." Something inside her broke open. Not pain, not fear, hope. "A dangerous thing. What happens when we reach your world?" she asked. He shook his head. "Not my world, ours." She searched his face. "And if they hunt me, then they face us." The words were not loud, not dramatic. They were certain. She realized then, this was not pity, this was protection. She tightened her grip slightly. "Say it," she said. "Say what?" "That you will not abandon me." He did not hesitate. "I will not abandon you. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever." The promise settled into her heart, heavy, warm. Outside the ship, stars passed in endless lines. For the first time since the fire, she believed forever might be real. The ship trembled, not gently, not like before. This time it was violent. Metal groaned. Lights flickered. The calm rhythm shattered. She woke instantly. Fear rushed through her body. Sharp and cold alarms echoed through the corridors, deep warning tones that shook the air. The human was already on his feet. His posture changed. Calm turned into focus. "Stay here," he said quietly. She grabbed his sleeve. "No." The word was weak, but filled with panic. He looked at her, really looked. "I will come back." The promise was fast, almost instinct. Another impact hit the ship. She was thrown back against the bed. Pain surged through her side. The door sealed automatically. She was alone again. Her chest tightened. Breath became shallow. The walls vibrated with distant explosions. Voices shouted through the ship. Human voices, urgent, controlled. She tried to sit up. Her body screamed in protest, but fear was stronger than pain. She forced herself up. The room spun. Darkness crept at the edges of her vision. Through the small window, stars twisted into chaos. Ship's enemy. Ships. She recognized the shapes instantly. Her blood turned cold. They had found her, the ones who destroyed her world, the ones who hunted survivors. Her hands shook. This was her fault. The humans had taken her in, protected her. Now they would pay for it. The ship rocked again. Somewhere metal tore. A scream echoed. Cut short. Tears filled her eyes. She slid off the bed. Her legs barely held her. Every step felt impossible. But she moved anyway. The door would not open. She pressed her forehead against it. "Please," she whispered to no one. A sudden silence fell, not peace, but tension. Then a voice filled the room. The human over the ship system. "All hands hold position, shields at maximum. We do not retreat." Her heart pounded. "Do not retreat. They could escape. They should escape." Why were they staying? Another voice answered, firm, loyal. "They are boarding, Theo." Words struck her like a blade boarding, then close combat, personal, deadly. She slid down against the wall. This was the end. She closed her eyes. Memories flooded her mind. Her home, her people, the sky burning. She had survived all of that, only to bring destruction to those who saved her. The door suddenly opened. She gasped. The human stood there, armor scratched, blood on his shoulder. Not hers, human. Her voice broke. Why are you here? He stepped inside and sealed the door. Because this is where you are. Ship shook again. He knelt in front of her. You should not be up. She reached for him. They came for Mesh. Said I know then. Leave. Mesh forced the words out. Give them what they want. His jaw tightened. No, they will kill you, he answered. Then we will stop them. His voice was steady, unshaken. You cannot win, she said. You do not understand them. He met her eyes. You do not understand us. A loud impact struck close. The ship screamed. He placed his forehead against hers. Listen to me. You are not a burden. You are not a mistake. They chose you. I chose you. Her vision blurred. Why, she whispered. Because you are under our protection. A scream echoed through the corridor. Not human, alien. The enemy was close. The human stood. I need to go. Fear clawed at her. Do not go, she said. He paused, turned back. He took her hand, squeezed it firmly. I will return. She searched his face. Desperate promise. He did not smile. I promise. He left, the door sealed again. She pressed her hand to her chest. Her heart felt like it would tear apart. Moments later, the ship roared, not in pain, in fury. Human weapons fired, precise, relentless. She realized then humans did not fight for conquest. They fought for those they refused to abandon. Outside, the battle burned inside. She waited, holding onto a promise. As the galaxy learned what happens when humans decide to protect someone. The waiting was worse than the battle. Every second stretched heavy, unforgiving. She pressed her back against the wall, listening. The ship no longer shook in fear. It moved with purpose. Power surged through the floor. A deep, steady strength. Human strength through the thin walls. She heard the sounds of combat. Not chaos, not panic. Orders were short. Clear movements answered instantly. These humans were not reacting. They were deciding. A loud impact echoed, then another. The ship answered back. A low thunder rolled through the hull. She felt it in her bones. She understood then. This ship was not running. It was standing its ground. Her breath caught. Why would a species risk everything for one broken survivor? A sudden pain shot through her chest. The human. Her mind raced with images of him falling, blood on the floor. Silence where his voice should be. No, she pushed herself up again. Her body screamed. But she ignored it. Pain was familiar. Fear was not. She reached the door. Pressed her palm against the panel, locked. She pounded weakly. Please open. Nothing happened. Her legs gave out. She slid down slowly. Tears streamed down her face. She had lost everything once. She could not lose this. A new sound filled the air, not an alarm. Laughter, human laughter, rough, relieved then. A voice over the system. Boarding teams neutralized, enemy ships retreating. The words hit her like light. She gasped. Alive. They were alive. Her door opened moments later. The human stepped inside. His armor was damaged, scorched, cracked. He was bleeding more than before, but he was standing. Her breath broke into a sob. You came back, she said. Of course, he replied. He moved toward her, then stopped, checking her condition. Always careful. They left, she whispered. Yes, he nodded. They will not return soon. She laughed softly, a sound she barely recognized. You fought them. For me, he frowned slightly. We fought them because they crossed a line. Her eyes met his. For one life. He shook his head. For a promise. The word echoed inside her. Promise. She reached out. Her hand brushed his armor. You are hurt. He looked down. It will heal. You should not be standing, she said. Neither should you, he answered. They shared a quiet moment. The ship felt different now. Not like a place of survival, like a home that had been defended. She finally asked the question that burned inside her. Why do humans do this? He removed part of his armor. Sat down slowly. Because once, a long time ago, we were the ones hunted, the ones ignored, the ones left behind. She listened. Because no one came for us, and we decided no one else would feel that again. His voice was steady, but pain lived beneath it. "We learned something," what she asked. "That strength means nothing if you do not use it." "To protect," she swallowed, "and if protecting costs everything, then it costs everything," he said. Without hesitation, she realized then humans were not gentle because they were weak. They were gentle because they chose to be, and when that choice was threatened, they became unstoppable. She looked around the room at the human technology, the scars of battle. "All of it for her. I do not deserve this," she said quietly. He looked at her. "No one earns the right to be protected. They only need to exist." Her vision blurred again. This time she did not wipe the tears away. She stepped closer. "Rest." He said, "Let the med team see you." She shook her head. "Stay." The word held more meaning than she intended. He hesitated, then nodded. "I am not going anywhere." She sat beside him, close not touching, yet connected outside the ship. The enemy fled into the dark, inside. Something stronger than fear had taken root. Trust. The galaxy would remember this battle. As a loss, she would remember it as the moment she understood what humans protect and why they never let go once they choose someone as their own. The ship moved in silence now, not the heavy silence of fear, but the quiet that follows survival. She sat near the observation window, watching the stars drift past. Each one felt less distant, less hostile. She was healing not just her body, but something deeper. The human visited often. Sometimes he spoke, sometimes he simply sat with her. No expectations, no demands. That made it harder, she had learned. To survive pressure, not freedom. One cycle, she finally asked, "Where are we going?" He answered without looking away from the stars. "Somewhere safe." "You always say that," she replied. "Because it matters." He turned to face her. "Safety is not just a place. It is a promise." The word followed her long after he left. Promise. Humans used it differently. They did not say it lightly, but when they did, they carried it like a weight. Her strength returned day by day. She walked the corridors again, slowly at first, then with confidence. The crew greeted her, not as cargo, not as a threat, but as someone who belonged. That unsettled her. Belonging was fragile. One evening the ship dimmed its lights. A signal arrived, long range, encrypted. The mood change. Felt it before anyone spoke. The human found her soon after we received news. His voice was careful. "Your enemies are speaking to the council." Her chest tightened. "What do they want? To claim you? To call you a weapon, a resource?" Her hands curled into fists. "I will not go back," she said. "You will not." He answered immediately, "But the galaxy will ask questions." She looked at him. "What will you do?" He held her gaze. "I will give you a choice." The words stunned her again. "Choice. We can take you to a hidden colony," he continued. "You will be protected, or you can stay with us. Open, visible, defiant. And if I stay," she asked, "then they will know that humans stand with you." The risk was clear. She turned back to the stars, once her people had hidden, believing silence would save them. It did not. "If I stay," she said slowly, "I put you in danger." He shook his head. "You share it with us." She closed her eyes. "I do not want to be alone again." The truth broke free. He stepped closer. "You will not be, not here, not with us." She searched his face. This time she did not see duty. She saw something personal, something human. "Why does this matter to you?" she asked. He took a breath. "Because when I found you broken, bleeding, left behind, I saw someone the galaxy had decided did not matter, and I refused to agree." Her chest ached. She moved closer just a step. "And if forever is a lie?" she asked quietly. He did not look away. "Then I will spend my life proving it." Is not the words settled deep? She nodded. "Once I will stay." The decision felt heavy, but right. The ship changed course. Messages were sent clear, public. "This survivor is under human protection." The response came quickly. Threats, warnings, demands. Humans answered with silence and presence. She stood beside him on the bridge, not behind, not hidden. The galaxy watched for the first time. She was not running. She was choosing later in the quiet again. She spoke the fear she had kept buried. "What if one day you change?" He smiled softly. "Then you will remind me of my promise." She reached for his hand, this time without hesitation. "Say it again." she said. He squeezed her hand gently. Forever means forever. She believed him, not because the galaxy was kind, but because humans were stubborn, and once they decided someone mattered, they did not let go. Not ever. Part 6. Forever means forever. The ship moved in silence now, not the heavy silence of fear, but the calm that followed survival. She stood near the wide observation glass, stars drifting slowly across the dark. For the first time, space did not feel empty. Her body was healing. The pain no longer ruled her movements, but her mind was changing too. The human visited her every cycle. Sometimes he spoke, sometimes he only stayed. No orders, no expectations. That freedom frightened her. She had learned how to endure control, not kindness. One cycle she finally asked the question that followed her thoughts. Where will you take me? He did not answer at once. He watched the stars with her. Somewhere safe. You always say that, she said. Because it is always true. He turned toward her. Safety is not a location. It is a promise. The word echoed in her chest. Promise. Her strength returned day by day. She walked through the ship again, slow steps becoming steady ones. The crew greeted her with nods, with quiet respect, not curiosity, not suspicion. She belonged. That thought felt dangerous. Belonging could be taken away. One cycle later, the ship lights shifted. A long-range signal arrived. The mood changed instantly. She felt it in the air. The human came to her. Soon after we received news, he said carefully. Your enemies have contacted the Galactic Council. Her heart tightened. What do they want? To claim you? To label you as property or a threat? Her hands clenched. I will not go back. You will not, he said without hesitation. But the galaxy will test us. She looked at him. What will you do? He held her gaze. I will give you a choice. Again, choice. We can take you to a hidden colony, he continued. You will be protected. Anonymous, safe, or you can stay with us. Open scene, defiant. If I stay, she asked, then they will know humans stand with you. She turned back to the stars. Her people had hidden once, believing silence meant survival. It had not. If I stay, she said slowly, I bring danger to you. He stepped closer. You share it with us. Her voice trembled. I do not want to be alone again. You will not be. He replied, not here, not with us. She studied his face. Not duty, not obligation, care. Why does this matter to you? She asked. He took a breath. Because when I found you, left behind, bleeding, forgotten, I saw someone the galaxy had decided did not matter, and I refused to agree. Her chest ached. She moved one step closer. And if forever is a lie, she whispered. He met her eyes. Then I will spend my life proving it. Is not. Silence wrapped around them. Then she nodded. I will stay. The decision felt heavy, but right. The ship altered course. Messages were sent across known space. This survivor is under human protection. Responses followed quickly. Warnings, threats, demands. Humans answered with presence. She stood beside him on the bridge, not hidden, not silent. The galaxy watched for the first time. She was not running, she was choosing later. In the quiet once more, she spoke the fear she had carried too long. What if one day you change? He smiled softly. Then you will remind me of my promise. She reached for his hand without fear. Say it again, she asked. He held her hand gently. Forever means forever. This time she believed it, not because the galaxy was kind, but because humans were unbreakable. When they decided someone mattered, they never let go. The galaxy watched. It did not look away. News traveled faster than ships, faster than fear. A survivor under human protection. The word spread through stations, councils, worlds that had never cared before. She stood on the observation deck, looking out at a gathering of stars. This time they were watching her too. The human stood beside her, not as a guard, not as a shield, as an equal. The ship approached the neutral system, where voices ruled instead of weapons. The Galactic Council awaited. She felt the old fear rise, the memory of her people standing alone, speaking truth while the galaxy stayed silent. Her hand trembled. The human noticed. He did not speak. He simply placed his hand over hers. Steady, certain. The chamber was vast. Light reflected off metal and glass. Species of every form filled the space. Eyes turned toward her. Whispers followed. This is her, the survivor. She lifted her head. She would not hide. The council demanded answers. Why do humans interfere? Why protect one life? Why risk conflict? The human stepped forward. His voice carried through the chamber. Because one life matters. The words echoed. Murmurs rose. A single life does not outweigh stability. One voice argued. The human did not raise his voice. Stability built on abandonment is not peace. Silence fell. She felt something change. The galaxy was listening. She stepped forward. Her voice shook at first, then steadied. My people trusted treaties, silence, distance. None of it saved us. She looked around the chamber. I survived because humans refused to leave. A representative sneered. Humans are dangerous. The human beside her nodded. Yes, we are, but only to those who harm the helpless. The chamber erupted. Debate, fear, anger. The council called for order. Finally, a verdict was reached. She was free, recognized as an independent being under human alliance. The galaxy had drawn a line when they returned to the ship. The crew waited, not cheering, not celebrating, just relief. She exhaled for the first time. That night she stood alone in the quiet hall, processing everything. The human joined her. It is over, he said. She looked at him. It is just beginning. He smiled. You are learning fast. She faced him. Why did you really stay? He did not answer right away. Because when I held your hand I made a promise, and humans do not break promises. Her eyes filled. She reached for him. This time she held him. The bond between them was not written in law, it was written in choice. Days passed, then weeks. Her presence changed the ship. Crew learned her customs, her language. She learned human laughter, human stubborn. Hope. Other worlds began to notice. Refugees sought human ships, human stations. The pattern was clear. Where humans went, the abandoned followed and survived. She stood beside him once more, watching stars pass. What are we now? She asked. He answered, without hesitation. Home. She leaned into his shoulder. Once she had been broken and alone. Now she was part of something larger. The galaxy would remember this moment, not as a war, not as a treaty, but as the day humans proved their greatest strength. Was not firepower, it was refusal. Refusal to abandon, refusal to forget, refusal to let anyone face the dark alone. And somewhere among the stars, a promise lived on forever, meant forever.